Ragnarok, the destructive end of the world in Norse mythology, is both a beginning and an end. The beginning of a world born anew, and the end of a long era filled with war and death. Despite this Armageddon being the horrific end of the world, the result of it will be much greater and grander than ever before. But what really is Ragnarok? Ragnarok is the final destruction of the world in the conflict between the Aesir and the powers of hell. Who are the Aesir and the powers of hell? The Aesir are the gods that live in Asgard, including Odin, Thor, and Heimdall. The powers of hell are composed of the dead souls of the afterlife and the giants, who will travel on the nail ship Naglfar into Ragnarok. What happens in Ragnarok? Ragnarok stems from the death of Baldur, Odin's son and the most beloved of the gods. But first, Frigg, Baldur's mother, will travel across the 9 realms, making everything swear an oath that it will not hurt Baldur. However, she overlooks the mistletoe because she believes that it is too small and dainty to damage anything, especially her son. Loki, the god of mischief, takes advantage of this at a meeting of the gods. The Aesir each amuse themselves by throwing weapons at Baldur and watch them bounce off of him. Baldur dies when Loki tricks the blind god Hoder into throwing a mistletoe dart at Baldur. First, after Baldur's death, comes Fimbulwinter, which is the great winter that lasts for 3 normal winters, or 3 years. During the Fimbulwinter, all laws and morals will fall away. Next comes the destruction of the sun and the moon. The 2 wolves, Skull and Hati, who have hunted the sun and moon since the beginning of time, will finally catch their prey, and the earth will be plunged into darkness. Yggdrasil, the great tree that holds the cosmos together, will tremble, and all trees and mountains will perish. Then the chains that hold back the wolf Fenrir will shatter, and the great beast will be free to roam the lands, killing everything in its path. After Jormungandr, the world serpent makes landfall and rises from the depths of the ocean. He will spill the seas over earth and poison the land. As a result of all of this, the sky will crack open and the fire giants, led by Surtur with his flaming sword brighter than the sun, will march towards Asgard on the Bifrost. All this will shake Naglfar, the nail ship, free from its moorings, and Loki, the traitor to the gods, who will have broken free of the chains the gods bound him in, will lead an army of giants and the forces of chaos and destruction on Naglfar to Ragnarok. But what are the main deaths in Ragnarok? Ragnarok is filled with stalemates. This is a battle when both sides perish. The first of these stalemates is the battle between the Norse god of war Tyr and Garm, the guard of hell and the greatest of dogs. The next stalemate is the battle between the Norse god of thunder Thor and Jormungandr, the world serpent. Thor will first slay Jormungandr, but Jormungandr's poison is so venomous that Thor is only able to take 9 steps of glory before falling to the ground, dead. The next stalemate is between Heimdall, who watches the Bifrost, and Loki, the traitor to the gods. Heimdall will fall to Loki, but before dying, he will deal a fatal blow, and in the end, both gods will fall to the ground. The next battle is not necessarily a stalemate. Although both sides die, only one is killed and the other is avenged. This fight is obviously the battle between Odin, riding on his 8-legged steed Sleipnir, and the monstrous wolf Fenrir. Odin will fight Fenrir with his magical spear Gungnir, but he will eventually die when Fenrir swallows the Allfather. However, Vidar, Odin's son, and his big magical shoe, made of all the thrown-away scraps of shoes in history, will eventually kill Fenrir by ripping his head apart. But Ragnarok will finally end when Surtur, leader of the giants, will finally kill Freyr and set the world aflame with his fiery sword, brighter than the sun. Is Ragnarok bad? Not necessarily. First, you must understand the process of destruction and creation, rebirth and death. For creation to begin, there must be destruction. For rebirth, there must be death. This is because the world died in fire, so there is still water. Water remains after Ragnarok. Humans will rise from the water, and life will begin again. Life will prosper with the existence of water. Is the new world born out of Ragnarok better than the old one? Yes, this is because after Ragnarok, it is said that the world would be reborn from the water that remained. The land would be filled with lush plains, and the world would resurface anew and fertile. The gods Balder and Hodur, along with the other Aesir gods that survived, would rebuild the cosmos, even greater and grander than the previous ones. The two humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, who survive Ragnarok by hiding in the roots of Yggdrasil, will repopulate the earth and bring out a new generation of humans.